Good day, everyone. I will be presenting the rational problem context and introduction to the solution for our campaign volunteer, which focuses on improving participation in humanitarian action in the Philippines. But before that, let's view the teaser video of our campaign.
You in action.
You can give safe water for everyone.
You can give assistance.
You can make a difference. You can help others.
You can make someone smile.
You can protect people.
You can help humanity.
You can save homes.
You can give relief.
You can save lives.
You can give life.
Because humanity needs you, join us and be a Philippine Red Cross volunteer.
Every year, communities in the Philippines face recurring challenges such as natural disasters, public health concerns, and humanitarian crises. These include flooding, extreme weather events, sanitation issues, and emergency response needs, which continue to affect vulnerable populations. Despite these recurring challenges, Filipinos remain highly aware of these issues and demonstrate strong concern for their communities. In fact, Filipinos show a strong willingness to help. So this reflects a culture of bayanihan where individuals are naturally inclined to support one another in times of need. However, this willingness does not always translate into consistent or sustained participation. This brings us to the core problem. While awareness of social issues is often high, it does not consistently translate into action. There remains a gap between intention and actual participation. So, this reflects a key principle in social marketing that increasing knowledge alone is not enough to change behavior. As emphasized by Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, behavior change requires addressing barriers, motivations, and enabling conditions, and not just awareness. In other words, individuals may care about an issue, but without clear opportunities and support systems, intention does not easily become action. Development communication highlights that behavior change is a complex process influenced by multiple factors. Even when individuals are motivated, they may still not act if they lack the necessary skills, access, or opportunities to do so. And this aligns with behavior change frameworks, such as the Cone-B model, which explains behavior is shaped by interaction of capability, opportunity, and motivation. In this context, behavior is not determined by willingness alone, but also by the systems and environments that either enable or restrict participation. This insight reinforces the need to design interventions that do not only inform, but also make desired behaviors easier, accessible, and achievable for the target audience. In the context of humanitarian action, individuals face several key barriers that prevent them from participating, even when they're willing to help. These include unclear entry points for volunteering, like fragmented or scattered information about opportunities, uncertainty how to get involved, and limited coordination between organizations. So these barriers reflect both structural and informational challenges, which are commonly identified in social marketing as factors that limit behavior change. As noted by Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, individuals are less likely to adopt desired behaviors when perceived costs such as effort, confusion, or inconvenience outweigh the benefits. In this case, the issue is not a lack of information, but the presence of barriers that make participation difficult. As a result, intention is not easily translated into action. At the same time, organizations such as the Philippine Red Cross also face challenges in mobilizing consistent volunteer participation across their various programs. So, despite having established structures and initiatives, maintaining sustained engagement among volunteers remains difficult due to issues such as fragmented coordination, limited integration across programs, and inconsistent communication channels. So this reflects a broader insight in social mobilization. The challenges in participation are not only individual, but also systemic. So as highlighted by McKee, effective mobilization requires coordinated efforts across institutions, networks, and community actors rather than isolated initiatives. In this case, the gap is not only in motivating individuals, but also in aligning systems that support continuous and organized participation. As a result, what we observe is a systemic disconnect. So people are willing to act, but there is no integrated system that enables them to do so easily, consistently, and at scale. So this reveals that the issue is not simply a lack of awareness or motivation, but a lack of access, coordination, and enabling structures. So in development communication, this reflects the principle that behavior is shaped not only by individual intention, but also by the systems, environments that support or constrain action. As discussed by Jan Service, meaningful social change requires participatory and systemic approaches that go beyond one-way communication. In this case, the challenge lies in bridging the gap between willingness and action through better designed systems that facilitate participation. Because of this gap, there is a need to move beyond the traditional awareness driven campaigns and instead design systems that actively enable participation. And this reflects a key principle in social marketing that behavior change requires not only communication, but also supportive environments that make action easier and more accessible. As emphasized by Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, effective programs must reduce barriers and improve clear pathways for engagement. So, guided by this insight, we developed our campaign Volunteer. Volunteer is not just a campaign or a standalone platform. Instead, it is designed as a digital ecosystem that connects individuals to humanitarian opportunities in a structured, coordinated, and accessible way. By integrating technology, partnerships, and participation mechanisms, the campaign shifts from simply informing people to actively enabling them to take part in meaningful action. I built a sandbox environment, so you can also check out the look of the volunteer app and website, so you can see the snapshots inside it. I have not launched it yet, but I have built the interface for your visibility. Okay, so this is the app. Uh, so this is the app that I created. So this is the sandbox environment. So slightly it should look like this. So this is not published yet, but as you can see, these has features that are made to sustain long-term uh, long-term volunteerism. So as you can see here, you could explore different programs or campaigns that they could support in partnership with Red Cross, and then They could also measure the impact numerically. And then also there are notifications. So this will serve as the primary place where they will receive notifications about campaigns in their area or nearby their area or something that is of their interest. And in the profile, they could receive here their digital recognition, which is viewable by them and also the other volunteers. So um, this would be this would be database demanding, but this will surely make it easier for people to support different activities in the Philippines. So that is the home. So they could easily find mission, donate either through money or in any ways that they can. And also here are testimonials. So now let's go to the website. So I will enlarge this a bit. So there's also a sandbox environment that I created. So basically this is just this is the web version of the app. So the difference of having the app is that it loads faster. But here you could also log in, you could also donate, you could also view your certificates, and then share your stories, the impact. So you could also search for the opportunities to help in the area. And then also you could explore different activities within 10 miles or virtually or remote. You check that. So this should be clickable. You could easily search that. And the best part of it is that the donation can easily be done and it's made in partnership with Red Cross. So they could also claim their recently verified certificate. So I know people love this when they're verified. This is the same concept that Gcash has been doing. And I'm also active there. We're in I collect points in order that I could plant trees in any area of the Philippines. So it's the same concept here for Red Cross. It will be easier for people to support humanitarian activities. And I've done this as I'm an online activist for Greenpeace. So this is the same thing. We do online activism there where people also take part in reading articles, creating articles about the environment, and then at the same time support in any way that they can. So I hope you liked my presentation of our sandbox environment. So I'll take you back to the report. So Volunteer functions as an integrated system composed of a mobile application, a centralized website, and interconnected social media platform. So together, these platforms create a unified and coordinated environment where individuals can easily discover, access, and participate in verified humanitarian activities. Unlike traditional campaigns that focus primarily on awareness, Volunteer addresses key structural barriers by organizing fragmented information and simplifying the participation process and providing clear and accessible pathways for engagement. Through Volunteer, users are guided through a structured and seamless participation journey so they can discover nearby volunteer opportunities, register and participate with ease, and engage in both online and face-to-face activities depending on their availability and context. So in addition, users are also able to track their contributions and impact over time while also receiving recognitions through certificates and incentives. So this reflects an important principle in social marketing that simplifying processes and reinforcing positive behavior can increase participation and retention. As highlighted by Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, making desired behaviors easier and more rewarding encourages individuals to adopt and sustain them. So by structuring the user experience in this way, Volunteer transforms volunteerism from a sporadic or one-time activity into a more organized, meaningful, and continuous practice. To better understand how the system operates, Volunteer follows a structured participation journey or funnel that guides users from initial awareness to sustained engagement. So the first stage is find. So this is where users discover volunteer opportunities through digital platforms such as social media and the website and the mobile application. The second stage is join, where users register and express their interest or they have downloaded the app. This lowers the barrier to entry and making participation more accessible. The third stage is participate, where individuals actively engage in humanitarian activities, either online or face to face. So, finally, the fourth stage is sustain, where users can continue their involvement through regular updates, recognition, and ongoing community engagement. So, needs for reflects a key principle in both social marketing and behavior change. So that sustaining behavior requires reinforcement, engagement, and supportive systems over time. As highlighted by Philip Kotler and Nancy Lee, retention is just as important as initial adoption in achieving long-term impact. In this way, the funnel ensures that users are not only recruited, but also supported in maintaining consistent participation. This approach reflects the principles of digital activism, where digital tools are used not only to raise awareness, but also to actively mobilize individuals toward real world action. Rather than functioning solely as channels for information dissemination, digital platforms in this context serves as an infrastructure for participation, connecting individuals, organizations, and opportunities in a coordinated and accessible way. As discussed by Tom Kirk, digital activism enables faster, wider, and more network forms of engagement, allowing individuals to move from passive awareness to active involvement. In the case of Volunteer, digital platforms bridge the gap between online engagement and offline participation. So supporting it supports more sustained and collective forms of action over time. With this foundation, the next part of the presentation will discuss how Volunteer applies social marketing and social mobilization strategies to achieve sustained participation. To know more about what I previously discussed and my inspiration in the creation of this campaign, please check out these references. Thank you, Prof. Mel and classmates, for taking the time to listen to our group's FMA3. So this is only one of the 7 video series. So thank you very much and hope you would tune in to the next videos of our group. Thank you. Gracias.